Hey guys, welcome back and happy Friday. So today I'm going to be crocheting like a baby tee. Here's my inspiration. I just got that off Pinterest. And I've had this really pretty yarn from my favorite yarn shop in town, and I had no idea what to do with it until I was like scrolling Pinterest, and I'm like, oh, perfect, I'll do that. So yeah, I'm just starting with the neckline and the yoke of the shirt. If I can figure out how to... There we go. So yeah, that's what's going on today. One more row on the neckline and then start on the yoke doing increases, which I have to figure out math, so that'll be fun. Okay, so I just realized that I'm probably doing this wrong. I made it an odd number and it needs to be even if I want to do increases, so but I really don't want to backtrack and frog it all. So I think I'm just gonna keep going and just hope for the best, honestly. I might have to redo it anyway. It's kind of not going the way I want it. Okay. If I just did it one stitch less on my initial chain, then it would have been perfect. Okay, that's all I needed to do. So now I have 94 instead of 95 for my neckline. I want to make sure this is even. So now I can do it in increments of 23. I can do my increases in 23. Okay, so I did the yoke, or the neckline. Here it is, so cute. Now I'm going to be doing an increase in each corner until I get to about like, I want to go from 23 to like 60, I think, 60-ish. Or, let's see, 23 times 2 is, let's see, 23 times 2 is 46, so what's 23 times 3? That'd be 70... no. That'd be 69. And, okay, so I'll make it at least this... Let's see, so this is 23, so I want it to be at least 3 times bigger. Wait. No, at least 2 times bigger, right? I can't do math, guys. Okay, well, I'll just see how it goes. I'll just get to where I get to. Okay. Now I gotta count stitches. Can we have a moment of silence for my appearance? I'm sorry I look like this. I woke up today and realized I needed to post for for Friday, and so I'm not exactly internet ready, but that's okay. We don't need to look a certain way just to make things. Okay. 1, 2. So, today I had something on my mind, and that is evolution, which is something that's kind of taboo, at least with a lot of religious communities, Christianity. You know, I used to be part of a religion that was very cult-like, and evolution was kind of like a topic that didn't exist. You know, it was kind of like, oh yeah, but that's not real. Because it was like, okay, God made the earth and made people, and they just appeared out of nowhere because there was no explanation for it. It just was like that. And as I got older, I realized, like, hey, evolution makes complete sense to me. As I left that religion and went into Christianity and then left Christianity, and kind of just evolution just made sense to me because I've always been into science, and you know, I was obsessed with dinosaurs as a kid. Yeah, I'm that kind of person. I'm that kind of autistic. Just a little autistic. So it just made sense for things to evolve. I don't see how animals could have evolved and humans have not. That just didn't make sense, because it's like, we are animals and we must have come from somewhere. So I watch a lot of things about Neanderthals, and I've done research on like Neanderthals, Denisovians, stuff like that, mostly for school projects, but also because they were my own interests. And so yeah, I'm just here to say evolution's real. It's real. It's real. We have not poofed. If you are someone who believes that we poofed into existence, it's not true. It doesn't make sense. How could it make sense? Like, take 5 seconds to actually think about it. Like, sure, if there really is a higher being out there that can, like, do anything, like, why could he not have made us evolve and become, like, this intelligent, species that rules the earth? Like, how could he have made us into existence, but not made us evolve into a species that, like, is intelligent enough, you know? I feel like we can evolve, you know? We came from the same line as apes did. We converged. What converged? Is that the right word? We broke off and, became something else, which I think is incredible. You know, and I'm not one to be super religious or anything. I believe in a higher power. I think our energy is important, and it goes somewhere to the universe. I'm not... For a while, I believed... Like, I grew up in that religion, like, the religion, and I just believed what the religion was. I didn't ask questions, even though I was like, okay, that doesn't make sense, but it's just the way things are. Because there were things that about the religion that were explained to me, and I was like, yeah, okay. You know, that doesn't really make sense, but I guess it's just the way things are. You know, I'm not gonna question what my parents believe in. Where was I with Neanderthals? So, they're our ancestors. Like, people, like, want to say that the discoveries are fake. I've heard really crazy theories from, like, the religion I originally was in. Which was really crazy. crazy theories. Like, I've heard some people that are really, really dear and close to me say that, like, dinosaur bones could have come from other planets. I took an astrophysics class, like, in high school, and it just taught, like, really basic understanding of the universe, and I'm like, I was very concerned because they didn't know how the universe worked. They didn't know how the Earth was made, and I feel like everyone should understand at least the basics. There's a documentary on Netflix called Life on Planet Earth, or Life on Our Planet, something like that, and it's about kind of the creation of the Earth and sort of how everything evolved. You know, how it went from, like, grasses, microorganisms, you know, amphibians, reptiles, mammals, and it's really fascinating. I think everyone should watch it. It's from the History Channel, I think. Granted, it is a Netflix show, but it's probably one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. And also, like, I love channels like Nova, or what's the Neil deGrasse Tyson? He did what did he do? It's like it was this show that's been going on since, like, the 60s or 70s. Narrated by another guy back then. Now it was Neil deGrasse Tyson, and it was really good too. It was kind of like Nova, but it was more like every episode you learned something new about the Earth and how things work. Like, I watched an episode in my astrophysics class, and we learned about, like, how it was discovered that the sun revolved around the Earth. So stuff like that's really interesting to me. I think everyone should learn about that. Oh my gosh. So I've just gotta say, liberal. We are not conservative here. We call me a liberal snowflake, but I actually believe in education. And that's probably the cringiest thing I'm gonna say today. I was at dinner with my boyfriend's family. These are like cousins. This girl, she's 17 years old, wearing a Make America Great Again hat. What about Trump appeared? Okay. What about that appears to a 17-year-old girl? Like, I don't understand. I was so surprised when I saw her. I'm like, whoa, okay, that's, wow. Like, whoa. I was in shock, to be honest. And, it was insane. I'm like, where am I going with this? I was just really surprised, for one, and, like, she's also part of the religion I used to be in, so she was like, and a lot of people from that religion are, like, MAGA, conservative, because it appeals more to that religion, you know, kind of the male-dominated, family-centered, way of living is really conservative and, you know, traditional family values. And, I'm very much not that way. It just doesn't match my personality. I've always been really open-minded, and, anyways, I just don't understand, because she's like, nope, I'm not going to college, I'm never going to college, and I'm like, well, you know, you can choose your own path, go to college, don't go to college, that's completely fine, but a lot of people that are MAGA and, like, heavy conservative Trump supporters they don't believe in education because the professors are bad. They're teaching you things, like teaching you how to be liberal, and that's a bad thing, apparently. I feel like the more education you get, the better off you are, because you're learning things about the world, you know? And a lot of people that are conservative, like, I don't know, it's like, I've met all the people I've met that are really conservative Christians, and people from that religion I used to be in, have no understanding about evolution and, like, how the earth was formed, or how fossils are dug up, you know, things like that. It's just so unfortunate and mind-boggling to me, because they have no understanding. They have these loopholes going in their brains about how things work, like, yes, but, yes, but, yes, but, and, it's just, I'm completely baffled when I hear these people's arguments for things. It's just hard to wrap my head around how they understand the world. It's like, I don't know, I've always been so curious about how the world works, and a lot of conservatism is, just feels like going against learning how the world works. At least today's version of conservatism. And it's so extreme, it just feels crazy. I'm not here to go on about politics. You know, you can argue all you want in the comments and just in your daily life, but it's just, I don't understand how things like that appeal to people. Like, I feel like it just doesn't make sense to not want to know how the world around you works, you know? I feel like, as human beings, our existence is to try to have an understanding, you know, like, ask questions. Where did we come from? Why are we here? Instead of just being like, well, that's the way it is, and not have a curiosity. Like, I can't imagine not being curious. It's just insane to think about. I can't imagine living in a world where I just shut up and accept the information that's being shoved in my mouth. Like, that's just a sad existence. You know, and if you've never questioned the world around you and how things work, I heavily advise you to go and learn how things work. Like, you know, why do the seasons change? I work at a museum, so I'm always kind of involved with, like, how life goes on. You know, we educate people about what the world used to look like, what it's looking like now, how things work. You know, we do, like, leaf fossilization labs. Why do the leaves change? How do snowflakes form? Just stuff like that for little kids to come learn about, and we don't really, you know, everyone believes in evolution at where I work, but we don't push it onto people because we get a lot of religious groups that come in and, like, tour the museum. A lot of them are homeschooled, which, that's a thing. But I just think that everyone should, try to understand how things work, you know? Maybe you've never thought about it, which is fine. You know, sometimes you just don't live in a way where you are made to think about things, or question things, you know? Maybe you haven't had time to think about it, which, that's okay. But I encourage you to think about it now, and go on to try to have an understanding, because it's really fascinating. It's always been an interest of mine, and even more so as I get older. I just get more and more interested in things. I want to know more. There's still things I don't know, and I've learned a lot. But I do encourage you to just go out and learn, you know? Go to your local museum. It's a great place to learn, you know? Ever since I was a kid, I've been going to this museum that I work at now, and they have plaques for everything, and I never read the plaques until I started working there, and then I was going around the museum, you know, just trying to get a feel for it, because part of my job is to, like, I have, like, 3 different titles to my job, just because it's so, like, I'm needed in those areas, and one of them is, like, I attend the galleries. I just go around, make sure kids aren't going inside the exhibits and causing a ruckus, running around, yelling, stuff like that. And I just would read the plaques the first few weeks. All I did was just go around and read all the plaques on the, like, the exhibits and the little, what are they called? Like, the little, just the, I had it in my head. Anyways, I would just go around and read all the information, and it was so interesting. So now I know more about, like, things like Native American fishing and African culture, stuff like that, which I didn't know before. And, you know, even just learning that, just whatever's in your local area, learning more about your town history, that helps you figure out the world you live in and how things work, which I think is fascinating. And, you know, maybe it's cringe to know things about your own town, like, oh, you're so involved in, I don't know, like, maybe that's cringe, but I feel like for a while there, cringe was cool, you know, not real cringe, like, being actually cringe is weird, being actually weird is weird, you know, you have to be, like, a funny weird to be acceptable, but to be actually, like, fascinated with those things makes you weird for some reason. And listen, y'all, I was weird and cringe before anyone else was. I remember, like, you know, elementary school, girls would ask, the popular girls in the class would ask me a question, I'd answer, and they'd laugh at me for answering their question. So that's what I was used to growing up, was being, like, the weird one, you know, and then I was really quiet and people didn't really know me. I tried to fit in more, which didn't work out. Like, the more I tried to fit in, the more I struggled and had a harder time making friends. So the more I was just myself, I was able to make friends and kind of find my people. And even when I was myself, just trying to be myself, and I struggled to make friends and keep a healthy relationship with the friends that I did have, which it's just the way things were. But you know, that was my experience throughout, like, school, from K through 12. Now I'm in college and things are a lot better. Which, guys, after high school, things get better, I promise. I always had people tell me that, and it's like, yeah, whatever. But, it's true. Things are so much better in college, and, you know, just life in general, you know, and not everyone has the same experience. Maybe you had a great time in high school, and now you're, going through the world and having a hard time, struggling, you know, getting a job, and it's difficult, but I think things will get better. Things have a tendency to just ebb and flow, bad and good. But I found that as I get older, it's easier to deal with things. Oh yeah, by the way, I know I was gonna make that Apple Messenger bag. I'm moving in like a week and a half, guys. My room's not even packed up. So I packed up like most of my yarn. This is one of the like 4 things of yarn that I have left out. So, yeah. I will be working on it, I promise. I just, don't have any of my yarn out. It's all packed up in a storage unit. So yeah, that's what's going on with me. So I will be doing the Apple Messenger bag. I just don't have it right now. Anyway. Okay, here we go. This is what I have so far. This will be cute, guys. Oh my gosh. I love this yarn. It's so pretty. It's from my favorite yarn shop in the whole world. I think it's a newer place because, like I have a Michael's and a Hobby Lobby. It's not like I have a lot of yarn places. There used to be Joann's, but now it's obviously closed down. So now I just have, 3 places to really get yarn. I have, you know, Hobby Lobby, which I don't particularly, not my first choice. Michael's, Walmart, and, oh, 4th one. The yarn shop that I go to, that's like, it's local, it's my preferred place to go because it's a small business, and they have like quality yarn there, so, that is my first choice to go buy yarn, but, you know, sometimes yarn is expensive, so, sometimes I have to go to Michael's to buy yarn instead. And I just lost my stitch count. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Okay. So, guess who just realized that they've been counting wrong the whole time? Okay, so I thought I had, it's even! What the heck? I had 23 in each count. I had 23, but as I increased, it was wrong as I increased. I think I might have to just undo this and do it over again. Which is not fun. Okay, hold up. I think I have to at least redo this row because something's not adding up. I increased from... Okay. Math is not mathing. Okay. Okay guys, so I finally figured the math out. I got it all even, and now it'll work. Now it's exactly how I want it. So I'm just gonna keep going now that I've finished the neckline and started on the yoke. I'm just gonna keep going and hope that this goes well. Again, I'm just kind of like basing it off of a picture, so I'm sort of just using my own pattern that I'm making up right here. Maybe if you guys are interested, I'll make a tutorial. Just depends on what you guys want. after working on it today, this is what I have. That's what I have so far. Be more like that. And I'll just keep going until I reach about like a little lower for the shoulder, and then I will go ahead and make the bottom half of the sweater. So yeah. Thanks for following along, guys. Really appreciate it. Oh, whoa. And I will see you in the next video, guys. So have a good day, good night, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Goodbye.